going south, going covered. Do or die, do or die. Do or die, do or die. It's all good to me, and I'm down on my knees. It's all good to me, and I'm down on my knees. Think I got my own back, fucked up and I own it. I fell deep in the water, crossed off for my own pride. Searched into your favorite words, looking for ones you never heard of. Screaming off a bloody murder, it's so fucking true for. I need a better way to buy me back. I need a better way to buy me back. I need a better way to buy me back. Do or die, do or die, do or die, do or die. You talk a lot, but it's over. I'll be going south, going covered. Do or die, do or die, do or die, do or die. I don't feel sorry no more. Where did you go? I can't look back. I can't look back. I'm no bother for this shit, shit on top. If we keep going, we can let them out. Coming cross-eyed, looking at the sky. I ain't bird, but I feel like I'm a child. Need a lot, but I don't care. I sugar love for my blonde hair. Do or die, do or die, do or die, do or die. You talk a lot, but it's over. I'll be going south, going covered. Do or die, do or die, do or die, do or die. It's all good to me, and I'm down on my knees. It's all good to me, and I'm down on my
What's up? What's up? What's up?
Another night and we're losing sleep, taking off, flying across all these city streets. And sometimes it all gets lonely. Turn the music up and hear it now. Cut the noise, let our voices sing it out. It's our worth, it's waiting cold. 'Cause I know there's something out there, like a star that we can see. I can feel it in the darkness, lighting the way. Whatever it takes, we left it all behind us to chase a crazy dream. I know when it's you and me, we got all we need. When it's you and me, oh, we got all we need. Oh, when it's you and me, we got all we need. When it's you and me, we got all we need. Chase a crazy dream. I know when it's you and me, we got all we need. When it's you and me, oh, we got all we need. When it's you and me, we got all we need. When it's you and me, we got all we need. We got all we need. When it's you and me. Well, there it is. I don't know about you guys. I am excited. Grave, I know you're excited.
Oh, very much so.
No, this will be fun.
I know. After reading the content that we're about to get into here and doing some research on the guests, holy shit!
I need more. More.
All I can say is holy shit. Well, without further delaying, let's get this started.
Distant nerding.
Hey!
Woo!
Hey! What up, everybody?
Hey.
It is your boy. We are here. It is Thursday. Oh, returning from beautiful Gem State Comic-Con over the weekend, hanging out with all of the celebrities that both Graveyard and Shadu were unable to hang out with.
Yeah. Just keep rubbing it.
I'm going to. That's the whole point. It's okay. One day. Oh my God, that reference, Graveyard.
I know what you're talking about.
It was so good. It popped up in the book. It was so good. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it is Thursday. It's time for your therapy, for our therapy. You are now watching The Build. That man to that side right there, beautiful beard, and the scariest of scary when it comes to all of the vampires. It is my man, Graveyard.
Yes. Right below me, always there with the best references as ever, Shadu.
And that thing up there is young Phil.
Yep, and I would be a thing. And yes, ladies and gentlemen, we are here to nerd together. So, with that being said, let's get right into sponsorships now.
Before we do that, I have sad news. I have to let everyone know. The Magic Castle called and realized I was performing magic and beard without a license. They said no more close-up magic for me.
Yeah,
I got subpoenaed.
Yeah, so
right.
we're no longer going to be performing close-up magic on the show anymore. Well, I mean, we can still use it and do a question of the day. It's not like it's illegal for that. They just don't sponsor us anymore because
we're just not getting paid for doing it
because they don't do sponsorships anymore. So with that being said, we'll come back to that. Let's talk about. Oh, look at that! You can't even see it. We'll come back to that, ladies and gentlemen. This show, everything we do around here, is brought to you by the good folks over at Dubby.
Woo! Oh, there we go.
Have the volume down all the way. Dubby is a brand of energy drinks created to help focus, concentration, reaction time with no jitters or crash. Dubby contains no maltodextrin, no sugars, no fillers, no artificial colors or dyes. Ladies and gentlemen, you may be wondering to yourself, why is young Phil always so energetic? I'm going to tell you what it is. It's because I drink a crap ton of Dubby, but also because Dubby contains Neurofactor. Neurofactor is a neurotropic derived from the coffee fruit. Neurofactor helps give your brain focus and clarity, while 150 milligrams of caffeine and 3 essential B vitamins help keep you alert and energized. Find out more about Dubby at www.dubby.gg. Use the code NERDING10. Get 10% off your order. It is completely delicious. They have all the new flavors. I don't know which one I'm going to try.
Ooh, what are the new flavors?
So there's Merc Madness, which is a cherry limeade, and it's delicious.
Okay.
And then they also have, what's the name of it? It's called Aniba Elixir, and it's a sour gummy bear.
I mean, I think you gotta mix two of those and make yourself a sour cherry limeade.
Sour. I mean, make the lime actually sour.
Yeah,
that sounds really good.
You just need to just ship me some samples in unmarked baggies.
So you can sniff them on air.
Unmarked, right?
Mhm.
Unmarked, and it's not even little bags. It's just a giant,
No,
pallets of them.
just dime bags, no return address, because it's perfectly clear because there's no dyes or artificial colors.
Right.
Graveyard is just railing Dubby and just. Okay, I'm ready to go. Let's go. We're gonna do this. Let's go.
Can you imagine me hopped up on something? Come on.
Oh, no. I don't think it's possible.
I don't think so either.
I'm all hopped up on something that's not Mountain Dew. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get into this. I'm excited about this. This guest this week is a writer, an artist, a creator of all kinds. He has worked in the gaming industry, both tabletop and board games, and all kinds of video games and like art departments and things like that. This is why I was saying, holy crap! I did a bunch of research and was just like, oh my god, this guy has hand in everything, all things gaming, and now he is coming out with a comic book that we have all read. Did you read it? Down at the bottom there, she do.
Oh, I have. Yes, I've seen parts of it. So
I've seen parts of it. I'm just making sure. I know Graveyard read it because he was he texted me immediately and was like, I can't wait to talk about this. I need more.
Yeah.
I need more now. I need
more. Damn it, more.
So without any further ado, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the show, Mark Maia.
It's Maia. Maia. That was. That's all right. That's all right. Thanks for having me on, gentlemen.
Very well.
I fixed it in time though. I was like, no way, it's Maia. It's Maia. That's how it's.
I'm huge. You made me huge on screen.
Exactly, because you're the focus.
Oh.
How are you doing, man?
This is no. I've been good. I've been good, man. It's been a hell of a time with everything I do, putting out a Kickstarter and having a toddler. It's busy.
Oh wow! So you also just had a child.
Well, 2 years ago we had a child.
Oh,
he's in full gear now. He's been wound up for 2 years, and we just let him loose.
Yeah. They tell you it's the terrible twos. No, it's the terrible for the rest of his teens.
It starts to.
Once they hit about 30, I'm sure they're okay.
Yeah.
I could use some Dubby.
You could use some W. Hey, man, by all means, man. Just get down with some W.
Yeah,
exactly. Just up there, and make it feel the same way Graveyard felt when he read your book. I'm telling you, the man got high reading your book.
Oh, I'm glad you liked it. That was awesome.
Yes.
So before we get into your story and we learn more about you, let's learn more about you. If a movie was made based on your life, who would you want to play you and why?
Oh, I've I'm gonna pick. I don't know what I forget his name. And this is gonna come up later in the podcast, but it's the guy from the Third Rock from the Sun. He was the young
Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
Yes, I would pick him.
I like that.
I can see that. Yeah.
Only because I've been asked the question who would play my characters from the book, and I thought he would be good for Jack. So it would be his character from the Night Before Christmas, whatever that Christmas movie he did.
Okay,
he did a comedy. It's awesome. You should watch it if you haven't seen it. And it would be that character without all the dead parents aspect that he has in that movie.
That just sounds like a Graveyard movie all the way.
If you haven't seen the Night Before, I think it's called The Night Before Christmas.
The night before,
if not just The Night Before. It's got
is it when they're all laying the posters of them all laying on their stomachs with like the legs behind their heads, like in like stockings and stuff like that?
I don't know. I don't remember the poster, but I know it's got Seth Rogen plays their Jewish friend, and he's got like a Christmas sweater.
Yeah,
like a Jewish Christmas sweater.
Yeah, it's definitely The Night Before. Yeah,
The Night Before. That movie's awesome. So it'd be specifically him, like Jack would be that version of him.
Okay.
Ah,
Okay, yeah.
that's exactly what I was thinking. It's this. It is them. It's Sam Wilson, Seth Rogen, and Joseph Gordon-Levitt, and they are laying all on their stomachs like they're in Christmas sweaters and everything.
Oh my god,
It's a fantastic movie if you haven't seen it.
that sounds hilarious.
What are you building there? What's going on?
So I am building the NES. This is what I've got so far.
Is it gonna work? You're gonna have to blow on the.
You know what? I make that joke every week, just like and you can blow on the cartridge and it still won't work.
You got to build get the NES innards, put it in there.
So
and
there's somebody who made a blueberry pie that you
Raspberry Pi.
or raspberry pie. I knew it was some kind of berry. I don't remember what it was. A raspberry pie that you can put inside of this, and it turns it into a full-on usable Nintendo.
So is that a specific NES kit, or are you putting together out of random pieces?
No, it's a specific NES kit.
Phil can only create file instructions. He can't make his own.
I'm just
It's like the Lego movie, because you got the inventors and you got everybody else.
right. I'm not a master builder. I'm just
a master builder. That's right.
My skill level is the little sisters Legos, the whatever they're Unikitty and whatever.
Yeah, anything I could put attach the tires underneath was a car. no matter what shape it was, just like
this is a building on wheels.
it's a car, and you just smash them into each other.
Mm-hmm.
Great, it was great.
It is just it's a creative car, is all it is.
Yeah, it's the Homer mobile.
Nice.
So Mark, I gotta ask you, man. Like all right, actually, we do have one more question before I jump into this. I'm just too excited. We have a segment on our show called "Growing Up Geeky."
Okay.
What did you geek out on when you were a kid?
Cartoons was big for me. So, as far as I'd watch it all, and I wanted like G.I. Joe's, Transformers, Ninja Turtles, Thundercats,
Yes.
and then any toys I can get that my parents would actually buy me. And back then I was into the whole WWF wrestle, like Hulkamania. I'm older than you guys. So,
We are deceptively older than you think, except for Shadoosh.
Except I'm probably deceptively younger than you think. So
Yeah, no, Shadoo's a baby, but I mean,
12.
Graveyard and I, Graveyard and I are older.
Yeah.
But I guess as far as playthings go, I think I was a video game kid.
Okay.
So yeah.
So what system was your fave?
I was a Sega kid, so
Yes.
I preferred Master System over NES. I know it's not the popular opinion. And then I went Genesis.
Yeah, I was a
Over
Genesis
Super
guy.
NES.
I remember when the Genesis came out, I was all over that, and I think because Sonic was such a big deal to me
Yep.
when I was younger.
The first time you put that cartridge in, you turn on, and you hear Sega. You're like, oh, that's the shit. That's what I want. I remember the moment where I plugged in my Genesis at my sister's house, and I sat on the floor. My sisters are a lot older than I am, so they had a home when I was a child getting my Genesis. So I was sitting there on their floor, plugged it in, and I heard Sega, and I was like, "Oh yeah!" And Sonic just looked so good.
Oh yeah. I was a Genesis household just because when my parents finally let me spend my own money on the video games, I remember going into Fry's Electronics, and they're going, this is probably 95, like, you don't want the Super Nintendo, it's going away, get the Sega Genesis instead. And so I did. But I had older sisters too, and like I bought it with my own money, and they're like, hey, we're gonna play your Sega. I go, no.
You are not, ma'am. Indeed, you are not playing my Sega.
I still have my Genesis, but I sold my Super NES. I sold it for comic book money, actually,
Oh wow.
with Mario Kart.
Oh,
Mario Kart on it.
yeah. You know what's funny is my brother had a Super NES, and because we we lived in separate houses, parents, that whole deal. But my brother, he had a Super Nintendo and I had a Sega Genesis. And it was like I played Sonic and he played Mario. I remember he had the Star Wars video game and I was like jealous of that game.
Mm-hmm.
I had it wasn't In Your House. I think it was WrestleMania, the video game.
Yes, In Your House came out for the Saturn, I believe.
That's what it was.
Yeah, but no, like I but Sega Genesis has one of the best comic book video games of all time.
Yeah,
Comic Zone.
Oh, I had the X-Men video game. I love that game so much.
I mean, Comic Zone, you go panel to panel through a comic book.
Yeah, I remember that. That looked so. Yeah. The animations looked so cool. I thought that was really neat because he busts through the frames.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I thought that was really neat. I still have my Sega CD.
Oh wow!
I have everything over here. It's right over here. I decided, I wasn't allowed to have video games growing up, really. So my office looks like I'm a rich kid from the 90s.
We're all a bunch of poor nerds from the 90s that make sure that we have all the stuff we wanted.
Yes.
All my old consoles are in boxes behind that gray wall.
Nice.
Yeah.
You should look up the Polymega.
Polymega? What's that?
It's a modular gaming system that has different modules for different systems and CD based. So it plays anything that is older than 25 years in one system. And it's HDMI.
Nice.
Not a sponsor. They should they should call me because I've sold a couple of these to people. I bring it over to people's houses and showing them it.
I am solely keeping your business afloat.
Right.
I got 4 years for me to get it.
Hold on.
Like,
I got a smudge on my lens. 1 second.
You got another $25. Gravy must have said something.
Oh man, no! It like I said, I think I know I talked about this last time, Phil. I'm going to look up that modular system to put it into your NES, so you can have a working Lego NES.
I mean, that would be dope. That would be super dope to have a working NES system that's made out of Lego.
It's almost like combining my favorite things of video games and electronics, and then giving it to your favorite thing of Lego.
How long do you think you could play that before the Lego fuses into a melted pile of plastic?
I also wonder about that. Is like, how much does this thing fuse over time?
It won't, because the Raspberry Pi shells are really small. They're micro PCs. So
yeah.
It's only like a, I don't know, 2.5-inch fan that powers it for air.
You need to make sure you have some ventilation in that Lego
Right.
NES.
Yes.
Overdo it and put a full liquid cooling system inside of it. Like, why did you put that in there? There's no point.
How long have you been working on this Lego NES?
This is my 3rd week, I think.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, the idea is I build what I can in 2 hours,
He does. But enough about Phil and his.
And that
Legos.
would be the gimmick of the show.
So let's get into this, man. So doing some research on you and found your early career before we even get into the comic, because we're going to spend some time on the comic itself. But man, you worked in a lot of art departments and just working on a lot of like video games as like writing, artists, marketing, things like that. Like, dude, you worked on Destroy All Humans.
I worked on Destroy All Humans, the mobile game.
Oh, it was the mobile.
It's still Destroy All Humans. You got to work on an alien that comes to Earth and blows people up.
Yeah, and it was mobile games before there were iPhones, so it came with its own interesting challenges. But mobile gaming's so much better now.
Oh yeah, absolutely is. I mean, like the Land Before Time, Battlefield, Jewel Quest, just like some of the you worked on an iCarly game, man. Like that. That kind of made me laugh when I saw that. And I was like, wait, iCarly and 24 the game?
I've done over 100 games total, and 24 I actually won a BAFTA for, which is a big award in the UK.
Yeah.
Really?
So yeah. It was so that was a big like, and IGN reviewed it like it was like a 9.0, and then the second one got 9.2 or vice versa. I can't remember. But yeah, they got a 9 and
Man.
9.2 for on IGN. That was back in the day. And yeah, and I think IGN for the first one, I think it was IGN. One of them, page reviewed it, said that this is how you do a mobile game based on an IP. So I was like, that's a nice, that was a nice compliment.
That,
'Cause we did that game in 4 months.
Nice. Man.
Because that's the thing is you don't always get compliments, especially when you're working on previous IP games. Like if you're adapting an IP into a game, they tend to be very harsh on those types of adaptations. So like when you get something like that, and then you also worked on Shrek.
Yeah. We had Shrek for the Xbox. That's
Yeah.
the original Shrek game. Yeah.
And apparently you were a voice actor as well.
I was what? Yeah, I was.
Yeah.
I did the voices for Merlin, who was the last boss. I did the voices for the skeletons he captured. And I think I did the voices for the fairies he had to capture. So if I did any more, I don't remember, but I did those 3 voices in the game. I also designed the UI in the game, which is interesting because the UI, here's a little tip. It's all placeholder artwork that our creative director at the time just approved. So he's like, we need the UI out. We need something for the UI today. And I was like, okay. So I stayed behind with the programmer. I did it in like 2 or 3 hours. I designed the UI. He put it in the game. And the next day I was working on it, and the creative director comes up to us. He's like, what are you doing? I was like, the UI. He's like, I thought you had that done yesterday. I was like, I did have it. Well, I had placeholders done yesterday. He's like, yeah, it's good enough. Stop working on it. Okay.
Wow.
Okay. So
Okay, great.
so I was gonna make it prettier, but yeah, that was that. What you see is what I did in about 2 to 3 hours for that game. I might have done some level design, but I don't remember.
That's actually kind of funny. Is like, oh yeah, like if anybody were to complain about like, oh, the user interface in this kind of sucks, like, well, yeah, because it's not the user interface I was designing.
Right.
I'd have to say yes, I agree. It was okay for like a placeholder user interface, like and that's all I thought it was. But oh well, it made it to the final. Nobody seems to comment on it.
Right.
Yeah.
I have to ask, with your love of video games, did you ever go back and go, hey, I don't want to be like the LJN of mobile games and games you're working on with intellectual property? Because let's face it, those early like NES and Master System movie tie-ins were like, here's Freddy Krueger and bats. Everything had bats and snakes, it seems like, back in the day.
Remember the fall of video games almost happened because of an IP. So
Yeah.
I've worked on, like I said, I've worked on so many titles. I'm trying to like remember them. The iCarly one actually didn't come out as well as designed because we that project was too big for the time. I designed a project. I was like, oh, this will be a lot of fun to do. And then our CEO came back and was like, okay, we need to do, I can't remember what the timeline was, but he was like, okay, we need to get this done in 6 months. He said, can we do it in 6 months? I was like, no. And he's like, well, we're doing it anyways. Okay, so we just worked overtime and we had to cut features out at the last minute. We had some cool ideas in there. So there's some cool things in there, but like also a mess at the same time because it was a game that needed more, at least a year or whatever. Like it needed at least twice the amount of time we got to work on it. But it was something we needed. We needed that project because it was after, like, I think it was after the crash of like 2008 when everything went to shit, and then we needed the project, so we did it. And yeah, so that was that. But I probably have stories for like tons of games. I just don't remember them all.
Yeah. I was gonna say, crunch culture. Before crunch culture was a thing.
Yeah. Like I even did like Robert Kirkman is one of my favorite comic book writers, and he's got a series. He's got a series, Super Dinosaur, that he wrote for his kids, or for his kid. I don't know how many kids he has, but he wrote it for his kid or his son, and it had a cartoon series and I watched all this because we did the video game for it, and that video game as well was designed one way and changed at the last minute to be something else. So when you do that, the game always suffers and the designer always gets blamed. But it wasn't. I still say it wasn't bad. It still wasn't. I'd say it was playable. It was definitely playable.
Do you ever watch anyone do any speed runs of your games that you've worked on at all, just to see if they're able to exploit any things behind the scenes or like that?
No, I never. I don't watch speedruns in general, but I did do my own speedrun, which wasn't recorded, of Secret Agent Barbie on the Game Boy Advance.
Nice.
So yeah, I did that.
That should have been recorded. That should have been on. What was Twitch in the early days? I guess YouTube.
I don't know. I don't think I was even using YouTube then, if it existed. That was a while ago. I don't know when that came out. It was a long time ago.
YouTube was 2003 or 2005 or something like that.
YouTube was 2007.
All right, so
yeah.
So it would have been like E-Bomb's world.
Yeah, no, the Barbie thing was 2002 apparently. So.
No, Secret Agent Barbie could. There was Secret Agent Barbie for the PC. Those sucked. Our Game Boy Color one was actually really good. Or Game Boy Advance.
I gotcha.
But here we go. Secret Agent Barbie Game Boy Advance was. That's not right. 2000. Oh, initial release date 2001. Yeah, maybe you're right.
It was. I mean, I'm looking at your IMDb, so
you are right because I had the companies mixed up. Like I thought I was working at one company, but I was working at another company. I was working at Dice.
Oh,
when this came out.
Yeah. Saywan from chat says you should do that for the next Games Done Quick.
There's an article. It was an interview with the guys who did God of War, and they were talking about all the different games that they used as like inspiration. And then they mentioned Secret Agent Barbie for the GBA, and then they're like, "No, seriously, you should play it. It's really good." It was like for God of War 2 or something, and I can't remember, but it was
the original QuickTime release game.
I'm not saying they used anything from it, but they did look at it for inspiration, and they liked it. So I thought that was cool.
So what you're saying is, without that game, we would not have had God of War. That's exactly what I'm hearing.
That's verbatim. That's what I said.
Without Barbie committed deicide. Oh.
Without Secret Agent Barbie, we would have never gotten God of War 2.
Yep.
You heard it here first.
That is a GN exclusive.
Yeah.
And then it's debunked like a day later.
They're like, no, we didn't say that.
Or they will come out and say it.
And
then.
Yeah, there you go.
So how did you get from the video game stuff into working then with board games and comic book creation as well?
Oh, comic books was something I always wanted to do, right? So like I started collecting comic books when I was 13, and I liked it, and I was always an artist. So I've drawn my entire life, but sequential art wasn't really my thing. So I thought it'd be cool to do a comic book. So I drew a few pages, but it took me forever. So like I could never get a job drawing at that pace. They fire me instantly. And sequential art really isn't my bag. It's not my forte. So I gave up on that dream at 15, at age 15. I gave up on that dream. But then I decided when I was older, maybe I can get into comics as a writer. But I didn't know what to do. So I thought I'm just going to write a script to start. And I wrote So-Called Living. And I wrote that, 14 years ago. In the beginning, I was going to get an artist to work with me, and that didn't happen. So I put it away for a few years. And then last year I picked it up again, hired an artist, and here we are. So that's how the comic book stuff started. As far as board games goes, since I'm a Sorry, I just dropped some. Since I'm a video game designer, I'm just I fidget when I talk.
It across the room.
I fidget when I talk. This is what I dropped.
Oh, I gotcha.
So
yeeted it. Just
I have a glass table, so it's really loud.
Oh man.
Anyways, the board game thing happened because as a video game designer, I'm not a programmer, so I come from video game design from the art side is how I got into it. So I work with programmers to make these things happen. Like I design the mechanics, etc., but I can't actually program them to make them happen. So but for board games, I was like, that's something I can do myself. I don't need any programmers to do this. I can do my own prototypes. I can build them myself. I have a laser cutting machine if I want to get fancy, and make my own bits. So I thought I'd do that. And then listening to a podcast that said, if you want to be successful on Kickstarter with a board game, you want to get into the board game community. And during this time, before I heard this, my wife wanted me to do a YouTube channel where I taught people how to play board games. And I said, no, I don't want to do it because I don't want the attention on me. So I don't want to do it. She asked over and over again. I said, no. And then after I heard that podcast where it said you should get into the video game community, she asked me one more time. And I said, yes. So I did that, but I never went back to the game. And I just started Board Game Coffee, which is my YouTube channel. And it's been going ever since. So,
wow.
Yeah.
So you finally admitted she was right.
We're not going to say that live. It's recorded forever.
Just checking out the channel and just the kind of things that you do. I mean, it's an awesome concept, man. Just like because there's so many people who don't know how to play games or certain types of games and things like that. Shadu does something similar right now, where specifically for D&D, where he is teaching classes and yeah, I mean he's just like teaching.
Yeah.
Why don't you explain, Shadu? You should explain what you do.
I'm trying to explain your show, bro. Go.
Well, I'm doing guides and things. We have a little series called Classified where we take characters from pop culture and whatnot and put them into D&D classes. So
I've always wanted to play D&D, but I don't have a D&D group. Like I don't have.
Come on, let's do this. Come on.
Like my people love playing board games, and they'll go with me to watch like superhero movies, but they don't read comics and they won't role play. So they don't mind playing like campaign games that are like board games where they're controlling a character, but they do not feel comfortable pretending to be that character.
That's exactly. How could you? Okay.
It's just it's a different mindset.
Okay.
You just
how could you be like, oh, I'm going to control this character. Oh, I'm going to be whatever, and then no, but I don't want to.
Well, because in a campaign game in a role playing game, the story is told to you, and you just got to be. It's like more like a video game. The story is told to you, and you're like, I got to open doors, roll dice, collect cards, and that's it. Where I don't have
RPGs for a reason.
I know, but I'm saying for like the campaign games for board games aren't as RPG-ish as D&D.
Yeah.
So they don't have to get into the character. Although I'd like them to, so I could play that.
Exactly. Yeah.
They won't do it. So they just don't want to. Anyways, they don't want to role play, so that means I have nobody to role play with unless I role play by myself, and that's just sad.
That is very sad.
We all role play with ourselves.
Well, hey, if you ever want to,
do you do like a thing online?
I can.
Games?
I mean, it's not. So I have a couple of groups, but
I had one potential group that started up and it fell apart. I think all for the same reason. Is the guy who went to go start it. I was like, yes, I got a group of people. They were acquaintances more than like close friends, right?
Right. I got
and the majority of them, I mean. So they were like, oh yeah, let's start this up. And then we were pretty much just thrown into the deep end. It's like, here's a digital file of all the books, choose your character, build your character. And I was like, what the fuck?
Oh, yeah. No. You need some.
I was like,
guidance.
I was like, how am I supposed to pick anything from this? This is like reading the Bible and it's like, pick your favorite apostle. I was like, actually, there's only 12 of those, but it's just
the beginning. There was an artificer.
Well, there's 13 because when Judas left, there were still 12.
Well, no, somebody replaced Judas. Whatever. Anyway, that's the point.
He's the Ringo of the group. No, yeah, no, he's not whoever replaced him would be the Ringo of the group.
No, I mean,
Anyway.
you should definitely look into it because we on another channel, Shadu and I, we're part of a beta RPG game that I know the creator eventually wants to make into like a full-fledged game. So it's really interesting. I've been in a number of D&D groups over
we'd
a
probably
number
love
of
you
years.
for art and
Yeah,
art direction, all of that. I think that'd be really
Yeah.
valuable. So, yeah, definitely.
but I also want to talk to you at some point offline. Have you played the Betrayal games, like Betrayal in the House on the Hill?
Yep.
I want to do a Clue version of that. a generational Clue to go through the different generations of the Clue board games as they progress.
Have you ever played Betrayal Legacy?
Yes.
Yeah. So that's the only Legacy game that I've actually played. I played a little bit of Gloomhaven, but just the individual campaigns. I've never played more than one campaign in a row, so I wouldn't even count as playing that. I played the broken scenarios, but yeah, Betrayal. We sat down for like 2 days and we got through more than half the game. So we just need to get back to it. Problem is now we've added so many rules to it. We haven't played it in like what broke it up was COVID, so we haven't played it since before COVID.
Man,
and so we just never went back to it.
Yep. I was kind of the same boat. We were playing. My co-host on the channel and I were playing with our boss, and he turned out to be an absolute dick, so we kicked him out. We just had to find people to replace him. So
Graveyard's having a raging Clue right now.
I'm raging Clue. Yeah.
We can talk offline anytime you want about it.
Yes.
Yeah, and I'll hook you up with a D&D group. So
yeah.
All right.
Awesome.
Look at that, making moves. All right.
But instead of this, role play living, let's talk about so-called living instead.
Good segue.
So you said you had this idea for about 14 years. You said altogether.
Yeah. I wrote the first like 5 scripts, really tight, 14 years ago, and then I had roughs for 6, 7, 8. So that's where the story ends, is after 8 books. And when I picked it back up again, all I did was just tidy those up, and I had to put them in a format that somebody else could follow. So you could pick up script number 1 or 2 and be like, oh, I get what's going on, instead of just a stream of consciousness, that's what it was, because I didn't know how to format scripts at the time, and I didn't know what to do with this. I couldn't find an artist, and I was like, I'm not the right artist for this. I didn't know how to get into the comic books industry, so I didn't know what to do. So I was like this guy who wanted to write a comic book, and I was just like floundering and trying to find information online on how to do these things. But most of the information online, like on YouTube, is from an artist perspective. So it's like, yeah, I'm an artist. This is what I used to draw. I was like, don't care. This is what I used to don't care. I draw my pictures. I put my story. Yeah, I get it. You can do your story. An artist can easily add a story. It doesn't necessarily have to be a good story, but an artist can easily add a story and put something up on Kickstarter. So, so I'm trying to find answers from a writer's perspective, and I couldn't find them. So I started actually putting up my own videos for them, but I only did 2, and then I was like, 2 YouTube channels and a day job and doing this and writing scripts and Kickstarters. I was like, it's too much. So I'm not gonna. I'll go back to it again at one point, but I kind of want to go through the process of like, as a writer, how I got into comic books. So I finally, like last year, just decided I'm going to just I'm not trying to find a partner, because originally I'm going to give you a synopsis of it. If you want any more details, feel free to break in. But here's the short version.
Far away from the button.
The condensed version is originally I was like most writers, I was like, I'm going to find an artist friend and we're going to be buddies. I'm going to 50-50 this, right? And nobody's going to get paid unless the book makes money. Then everybody gets paid. And I find it like you see a lot of arguments for the artist side being like, artists need to get paid. I was like, yeah, I get it. But that argument is more seems to stem more from just writers that you don't know approaching you as an artist being like, hey, draw my book, I'll pay you later. It's like, no, you don't know this guy. But if you're friends, friends do things. They get together and they they put projects together and they fail together. Like there's still work that goes into developing these stories, these characters, etc. Like the writer doesn't do nothing. It just seems easier from a non-artist. It just seems easier. It seems like less work right? From an outsider looking in for the writer. So everybody always seems like it's unfair for the artist. They're not getting paid. Anyways, I wasn't looking to just like get free art. I was looking for a partner because I couldn't afford to pay an artist at the time. So, and my deal was that if with the bunny, if the once the book starts making money, the first $5,000 it makes, all yours, right? And if it does, and that's it. You get the first 5,000. After that, we split it 50-50. So I thought that was a good deal.
That is not a bad deal.
Yeah.
And then and some people said okay, but then they dropped off because it's a lot of work, and they couldn't commit all their free time to this because they have day jobs as artists. So I get it. I was never angry or offended. I was like, I get it. It's a lot of work. It's not like if you think you're just gonna jump into comic books lightly and like complete it, you got another thing coming. Like it's a lot of work to put together. But so I put it away for a few years, many years, and then last year when I decided, screw it, I'm just going to take ownership of this whole thing by myself. I'm just going to pay an artist to do like a work for hire deal where I'm just going to pay you. You get paid up front, regardless if the book makes money or no money. You're going to sign a contract saying everything that's done is mine. So there's no arguments later if it does take off. If it does really well, I have no problem with giving a bonus to my artist. But they got paid up front, so they're getting paid regardless. This book can make nothing; they've already been paid, right? So, like the Kickstarter, I haven't received any money from the Kickstarter yet. It's up, but the artist has been paid. Like you know that. So part of it is is to help pay myself back for the money I did for the artist. The other part is to pay for the printing,
Right.
And so once I went on that route, once I decided to just do that, then the book got made. You know what I mean? It actually started coming together because all you have to depend on is yourself, right? And as long as you're honest, you pay your artist, which I always do. And Marco Leone is the artist for the book, and he's awesome, and he's trusting, and he trusted the right person because he does the work first, and then I pay him. So because there's a lot of horror stories online about like artists who done stories and then they don't get. They do the work and then they don't get paid. But there's horror stories on the other end where writers who pay up front and then the artist leaves and doesn't finish the job or just doesn't do anything, takes the money. So there's assholes on both sides of this story, right? There's just more. There seems to be more artists talking about this than the other way around. But I've met plenty of writers who have said they paid an artist and that artist just bailed, like did 1 or 2 pages and was like, and just cut them off. So I think I got lucky with Marco because I never met him before. He works for a studio, so that helps. But the studio was like, their process is they'll do half. They do half, and then you pay, and then you pay half, and then they do the other half.
Nice.
But so far, the way it's been, it's just like they've pretty much done the whole book, and I'm like, yeah, here you go. So they've been good, but I've never if they ever asked for money early, I think they did that once, and to pay Marco, and I was like, yeah, here, no problem. I have no problem because he's been doing great work. So we have a great working relationship, and so the thing is, here's the little tip, kids, anybody who's watching, you want to start a comic book. You can go to Twitter and you'll find a lot of artists willing to work with you, but you're not necessarily going to find artists that there's going to be a lot of shady people out there, people that get in over their heads and they're not afraid to just bail on you and just disappear. They'll just ghost you. So be ready for that. So you're better off going to a studio who deals with freelance artists and they make sure, and they're a legit studio. So I started my search at, Glasshouse Design, I think that's what it's called. And cool. And they have a lot of artists there that you can get in contact with. But Marco actually works for an Italian company that's similar to Glasshouse Design because I met Marco through Glasshouse Design. So it's like two companies, opposite sides of the planet. They know each other, so they're like, if we don't have the right artist, you go talk to these guys, and they do. So that's where I met Marco.
Oh, nice.
Like what a lot of comic book companies are doing now. It's like there's a lot of remote work from like around the world now.
Yeah. And going like finding an artist, like, it sounds terrible to say, but it's like us indie comic like people, I guess this is what's not everybody understands. People indie comic book creators are just people like you, the people who are complaining or or shit talking. It's like we're just people like you that have we're not a company. We don't have excess money to just be putting out into these things, but we do what we can, and then we go on Kickstarter, and then we try to get funding for these projects.
Yeah.
So like I think like a lot of people gotta just lighten up on indie comic people. Like there's a great indie comic support out there on the online. There is, but then there's some assholes who think you owe them something.
Right.
So it's
I
like,
mean, it's kind of like the world, right?
We're not like Hasbro, we're not Marvel or DC. We don't have just like shitloads of money. And our books, yeah, they cost more because we're not printing hundreds of thousands of copies to get like the price down that low, right? We don't have an exclusive deal with these printers because we're printing like millions of books a year. So our costs are up. So
right.
There's just a lot of things. I think people just need to be aware that indie comic creators are just people like you who are just trying to like make their dreams come true. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. I mean,
I went on a rant. I'm sorry.
Oh no, good. That's what we want.
Please go on rants. We are all for the rants around here.
Yeah, I mean, talking with you and other indie comic book creators, it's kind of inspired me to want to think about writing one and learn the process of making one together, just because I do horror movies and indie horror movies and podcasts and stuff like that too, that I want to get into that realm. I just never taken that leap yet.
Yeah, you just gotta like commit and go, and then learn as you go. There's lots of things. Like I wrote the script before I knew where the hell to find an artist.
Right.
I was like, regardless of what that answer is, I need a script. So did it.
Yeah.
Right. And then and then found my artist. So
nice.
So what's that process like working with the artists? Do you give them the entire script? Do you get pages back? Do you go, hey, I need more of this, less of this, especially coming from the art side that you've worked with? Do you have that in your mind what you want it to look like? Or you just kind of do what
I have the script I wrote, and it's a little different with me and Marco because Marco's first language isn't English. So there's a bit of a language barrier, but he's doing great. His English is a lot better than my Italian, which is 0. So, and
it's like Inglourious Bastards. Grazie.
So I send him a script, and I'm very descriptive in all my panels. The more precise I need a panel to be, because I try to work in, like, sometimes I'm setting up scenes in panels visually for either callbacks later in the book. So I'll be very detailed. I need it to be this and this and this. I need it to be this angle because I don't want you to see what's in the other side of the room. And later when we do a turnaround, I want to see what's on the other side of the room. So or that type of thing, right?
It's almost like shooting a film more than.
Yeah, exactly. So I write. Yeah. I'm very descriptive in my panels, unless I just need Jack to Jack bursts in through a door and he slams it shut behind him. Then I was like, you're going to a coffee house. He slams the door. That I'm not being like do a ground up shot. I'll let Marco be like get creative and do what you can. But as far as the style, I hired Marco for the style. I was looking for a specific style for the book. So that the style that you see there, which is the book, that's Marco, and he's exactly what I was looking for. So that's why I got him. So I had an idea what I wanted in my head, because I'm a strong believer in there's certain art styles that match the tone of the story, right? The tone of the art and the tone of the story.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely. So like you don't want something light and poppy and kooky when it's like a dark story about death. It doesn't always work unless it does. But you wrote that into the script thinking that already. You know what I mean? Like
right.
It's so when I put out the call to like artists on Twitter at first, when I was like, I don't know where to hire an artist from. Hey, Twitter, anybody there? And I don't really have a large Twitter following, but I got shitloads of people being like, here's my portfolio. I couldn't go through them all, but the ones I did get through, I got through like of the 99% of the portfolios I went through, they were all like teen romance manga. style art, right? And it's very popular.
Mhm.
And
Funny,
that's
but
fine. Like I like manga, but so-called living, that's not the art for so-called living. It doesn't match the tone, the vibe of the story that I was creating. So that's not what I wanted.
Mhm.
And it's like some people were like, I can do whatever you want. It was like, well, you could, but I don't want you to do whatever I want. I want something that's at least close to your style.
Right.
Right?
Because
Right.
that's
Or it be
right.
your style or close to your style.
because you can kind of go off what you already have, your base.
Yeah.
There.
Like I don't want you learning from scratch. This I want to be able to depend on you and see consistent,
Right.
like,
Right,
this is your
exactly.
consistent work, right? And that kind of goes back, like a lot of my career. I was a creative director / art director, so I worked with a lot of artists. Went through a lot of portfolios. You see patterns in how artists work. You can see that in their work.
Mhm.
Right.
I kind of know what to expect. What can I get out of people? What I can get out of Marco? What he can't. Like he's got his strengths. He's got his weaknesses. All artists do.
Mhm.
So, anyways, I went on another rant there. I think I blacked out for a second. I'm not sure how to that. But like I don't even remember what the question was. Did I answer it?
Like I kind of what that back and forth look like. Do you work on the script, get the pages back, and go, yes, change this. I like this.
He sends me roughs.
Mhm.
He sends me roughs, and if I can verbally just like type in, make sure Jack's facing the other way, and I need you to pull back the shot a bit more so we can see his feet because the joke's about his feet being on fire. That's just an example that didn't actually happen, but like I might tell him that. If not, then I'll scribble things on it. Sometimes I'll just draw it myself on top of it, just really ugly stick faces like that. The cover, which if you go to the Kickstarter, that cover there, that's the cover of book 2. And when I did that, I did like a happy face with flames coming out with stick people in it, and I was like, "This is Tim," and I need a rabbit over there. Like it was an ugly stick figure drawing. To give you an idea, it was like, this is what I had an idea for the cover. I think this would be good. And then he did that. So I'm not taking the credit for it.
No,
I just gave him an idea. I was like, here's my stick people, and he spit that out. So
I mean, hey, that's kind of a skill in and of itself to
Yeah, and sometimes I'll just Google like if I want somebody like being like in your face, like and I couldn't get that. I didn't know how to explain it to him properly. So I was like, no, something like this, but you feel free to do it from whatever angle, as long as I can see their face, right?
Mhm.
So, and I would send them just photos with my text. I was like, I need it like this, and here's just a photo. I just Google whatever, right? And now with AI, I've used it sometimes where I'm like, no, he's not getting it right. I was like, I need a big bouncer in a suit, and I Googled it, and I was like, why can't I find a decent picture of a bouncer in a suit? So because sometimes like. It's just I typed in the wrong thing, but Google just drops. So it was faster to just go Chat GPT, bouncer in a black suit, and boom, got it. Here's an image. I was like, here you go. This not him. I don't want him to redraw that. I just want to get the concept across.
Right.
Because certain things I'm trying to get the concept across because in Italy it's just different. Like you see the chili fries back here.
Mm-hmm.
It's a big thing of chili fries, and they're sitting in it. But in the book 1. I had such a hard time trying to explain to them what chili fries were.
Oh yeah,
because I guess they don't have chili fries in Italy. At least Marco's never had them. So it was so hard, so much back and forth that the final, I was like, it's close enough. It was close enough, and then I built more. Like I drew more chili lumps on top. Like they actually had big chunks of chili in it. That I was like. I'm going to leave it in there. I'm going to leave the lumps of chili. I was like, that's not quite right. but I was like, let's say this is a fancy thing. And they added actual chilies in there. So, so the brown lumpy chili that you see in the final book is a lumpy chili that I drew on top because I was like, you know what? It's close enough. I'll finish it.
Right.
Yeah.
I'll take it from here. But yeah, it's just funny. He'll do some like great things. And there's some things, there's just that barrier of like, the language barrier and the North American culture from like you got the European culture and it's just different.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, your process looking through your artists kind of reminds me of like, well, when I was getting tattoo artists, you know their style, you see their style of drawing, and see if it matches. You don't want your tattoo artist to draw something that's completely out of the wheelhouse, especially you said from scratch. Having them trust the scratch on you, you don't.
Yeah,
you don't want that.
Do your homework.
Do your homework.
And you want to see the patterns. Like if you see somebody's art and it's inconsistent, then you also have to trust. Like, is this all yours?
Right.
Because like I know when I used to look at portfolios, I'd get work and people would send things. I was like, did you actually do these? Oh, I colored this one, and for this one I redrew something that I saw somewhere else. I was like, you didn't say that in your portfolio, though. You kind of try to slip that under the radar until somebody actually asked the question.
Right.
So there's just some people that try to slip it in there, which is not going to work in their favor. You might get the job, but you're going to get fired instantly.
Exactly.
You can't put out anything.
Right.
So, but it happens. People,
especially when you work in an industry that's supposed to be like original work, and you're not putting out anything original.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can imagine that, when you're actively asking for people for artwork, let's all face it, we all have YouTube channels or Twitch stuff, and there's always someone that pops in like, hey, I designed YouTube channels and artwork for, hit me up. It's this It's new spam bot. It's no longer hot singles in your area. It's I designed content creation stuff.
Oh my God, I got 3 of them at the beginning of this show.
So I mean, that putting out there that had to get you a lot of bots too. Yeah, I would imagine.
Yep. I also, I get a lot of these when you a little tip for anybody starting Kickstarter. I get so many emails from people being like, hey, we can make you successful. Hey, we got tips, like we can promote it, we can do this, we can help. Or people that come from this angle. It's like, hey, yeah, I want to back your Kickstarter, but I just wanted to confirm, make sure you're legit, and it's always like a family relative, a relative, like, oh, I was looking for my cousin recommended, or I was looking for my cousin's project and I came across your project and I thought, do you mind if I ask you a few questions? And it's funny because I got 3 people that was like all related to their cousin is how they ended up with me. And I was like, I responded to each of them being like, you guys really need to come up with better material. It's like this cousin angle. It's like everybody's using the same. My cousin's got a Kickstarter. My cousin sent me to you. It was like, I don't believe any of you people. You're all liars. Just trust no one. Trust no one. And if anybody says they're going to help you be popular, chances are they're just trying to scam you for money. They just want your money, and they make you promises that they can't keep. It's just exactly. And what's going to happen? What they could do, and here's a scam that I'm pretty sure somebody's doing, because if I'm thinking of it, somebody's doing it. It's like, yeah, we'll take your money, and all of a sudden you're like, oh my God, these guys work. Look at all the backers I got, because they could easily pump money into your thing to make it look like they're doing awesome. And the last day, pull it all out and be like, and they're like, oh, we can't control, who comes in or out.
But the one that gets me is whenever it's like, we can help you organically grow by X amount of people, and it's like, well, it's all bots. I want people who are actually interacting with this, not it's the reason like I could like fake it with a bunch of bots, but it's just kind of like those people aren't asking questions in the chat. Those people aren't interacting like how we have Say Wong and Tater in the chat right now. We usually have a lot more, but
I'm pretty sure Say Wong is a bot. I'm just throwing it out.
And Say Wong in person, so I know Say Wong is a real person.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
to answer your question.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So I mean, let's talk about this. Have you, with your Kickstarter, we got to read the first issue. Have you been going to any cons yet to help promote this for the Kickstarter?
I go to cons all the time anyways, so I got some shirts made that say so-called living in the front, and the back had a giant QR code that said read while you wait. So it was while we were in line for cons. If you're in line, if you see me, you could scan the back of my shirt and just read issue 1.
Mm-hmm.
And at the bottom it said I can't remember what it said. It said read now for free. And then at the very bottom in small text, it said, or you could just keep staring at my ass. Win-win. So,
my God, that's genius.
So those were the promos I've done. It was just wear shirts with swag on the back, or give out like business cards that have QR codes so people could read the first issue.
Mm-hmm. And you worked in marketing, right?
I worked in marketing, coming up with ideas, not executing them.
Okay.
No, but I mean, the
So
idea of coming up with that in general was it's just genius.
yeah, so I've come up with great ideas, no idea how to execute them. When I worked in the team, when I had a team of marketing things, I'd be like, here's the idea, and they're like, excellent, and then it's like everywhere. It's like, excellent. I don't know how you just got it everywhere. They did a great job. They know the targets to hit.
Mhm.
Where me, I'm just like, grenade, launch it, and see what see what happens. Or like a bottle in the ocean full of bottles.
Yeah.
And that's distance nerding in a nutshell, right there. Just
I'm more of a genie in the bottle.
Beer
just
is
going
not
around
missing
asking people, hoping people rub you.
Yep. The right way.
Make your dreams come true.
Exactly.
I'll grant you your wish, but first you have to grant me one of mine.
Exactly.
Yeah,
That's marketing right there.
this is evolving quickly. All right.
So I mean, with this coming out, you said you have essentially 8 issues.
Yeah.
Is that going to be done? So do you think you ever revisit it, or you just move on to the next project after?
I
this?
think it'll be. I don't plan on like ending the so-called universe like altogether. So it's going to be 8 issues to resolve this story.
Mhm.
I make no promises that all characters are going to make it through these 8 issues, but you meet most of the characters in books 1 and 2. As you can see in that poster there,
Mhm.
he's new. Well, she's new, but she's got a small part in the book. And there's somebody behind the couch who you can't see who's also new. Oh, he's right there. He's down there as well. But like you meet a bunch
redacted, not for our eyes yet.
so you meet a bunch of new characters in book 2, and so the first 2 really get you going and kind of set up the characters, introduce you to the characters, set it up to the world and the situation Jack's in. And every Kickstarter, I'm planning for 4 Kickstarters, so since this one's already funded, I'll be able to do the next one, and then if that one funds, I can do the next one. That one funds, I can do the next one. So every Kickstarter is helping me continue the story and doing the next one. So after the 8, the story will be done. And if I go back to So-Called Living, which I will go back to So-Called Living, I don't know if I'll do it next, like right after that 8. It'll be another story taking place in that world with characters returning from this series. So it'll be kind of like a mini series, right? And ideally, when it's all done, I can have like a nice little trade of like, here's all 8 issues. There you go. You have an entire story here that you can just read, and it's all in one. And then next time I do it, I can do that again. It's like, here's another trade, and it's a complete story. So, so that would be a good idea. But I have like other plans for other scripts for other stories that I've written that don't take place in So-Called Living. They're much a more serious, dark tone. So for those, I wouldn't use Marco because his style is kooky, goofy. It matches the sarcastic humor of So-Called Living, but it does not match the serious tone of the next story that I'm planning on doing at some point. But I really like So-Called Living. I really like that world. I really like the characters. So like I feel inspired to continue that once these 8 are done. So
I gotta ask this: how many of these characters are based on like people you know, or based on things like that? I'm really curious about Casper more than anybody.
The none of the characters are, well, when I first started writing So-Called Living, I didn't exactly know which direction it was going. And Jack, originally when I was coming up with writing a story for Jack, I had no direction for it because originally Jack was called Mark. I named him after myself. It was just, and I couldn't do it. I was stuck, and I was like, I cannot come up with a story for this character. I don't know what's happening because I have this bio, and the bio is a picture of me and I have costumes, and like what Jack wears in the first issue is based on what I was wearing in the photo that I used on his character sheet.
Oh.
And anyways, I was stuck, and I was at like a coffee shop working with a friend of mine. They were working on something else, and they said, why don't you just change their name? The problem is you're hung up on that it's Mark, so change the name. And I was like, okay. And I did. And since I was watching 24 at the time, I named it Jack, and I thought it was just gonna be a placeholder name because Jack Bauer. So I just goes like, okay, Jack. In my head, I was like, I'm gonna finish the story. I'm gonna change it to Mark at the end, right? But no, I just kept him Jack. And since for those of you who have read the comic, you'll notice that Jack is dating Jill, so it's Jack and Jill.
Yep.
Now, originally, it was Mark and Jill, so Jack and Jill was a fluke. And then he does chase her up a hill. And that was, I meant him just to go like, originally when I wrote in the script, he was just going over a little grassy dune or grassy knoll attached to the parking lot. But Marco drew it as a big hill. So I was like, yeah, sure, let him go up the hill. And then as I was writing the script, it comes to a part where I've started cluing in that I was going to say, wait a second, Jack and Jill went up the hill. And I'm writing it. I'm in my stream of consciousness. And then I just decided that Nick will clue into it at that time. So Nick will be like, wait a second, you guys are Jack and Jill? Just like how my head clued into the fact, I wrote that into Nick. Like Nick clued into it. It's like, wait a second, you guys are Jack and Jill. And so that's how kind of the story was written. But as far as the character specifically, sorry, yeah, Jack was meant to be me, but he's now not me at all. And none of the characters were based on specific people. I had personalities that I wanted, and I wrote down character sheets for their personalities. But then after I wrote those personalities, I started thinking, which characters do I know that fit these best, so I can use them as reference for people to easily get it. So for Jill, it was two references to Third Rock from the Sun. What's his name again? Jordan?
Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
Joseph. So Joseph's girlfriend in Third Rock her name was Autumn. Her character's name was Autumn. And she was very like deadpan still, kind of comes across, she's getting mean. She's mean to his character, right? But she's his girlfriend. And he's just kind of happy to have a girlfriend, right? Yeah. And that's the kind of situation Jack is. So Autumn is kind of like Jill, and Nick at the time was like Lobo. So when I wrote Nick, I was like, oh, he's kind of like Lobo. But then I never read The Boys. And then when The Boys, the TV show came on, I was like, oh my God, Nick is Butcher. Like if I had to cast this, Nick would be Butcher.
He's Bill the Butcher for sure.
Yeah, Billy Butcher. So that's who I thought would be a perfect fit. And I started thinking that way because a friend of mine asked me, if you were to cast this as a movie or a show, who would these actors be? And I didn't have a good answer for for Jack until you guys mentioned, and it was, I already forgot his name.
Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
So I can't remember his name. He's a great actor. I like him, but my old man brain just won't stick.
So okay, we'll just call him Robin from now on.
Robin, we'll call him Robin. So,
anyways,
I didn't think of him, but eventually when I saw The Night Before, I was like, oh, if it wasn't for the dead parents angle, that character's like the way he acts he'd be great for Jack. He is a cool guy in front with his friends, but you know, if he's not afraid to run away from somebody who's bigger than him, the situation. Anyways, so I thought he'd play that character well. So that got me thinking that way. So Butcher would be Nick, but Casper, honestly, I don't have anybody for Casper. So Casper is like the I'm pretty sure somebody can find somebody for him, but he's always just been like the big loyal friend. You know what I mean? He doesn't talk much. He's not as smart as Nick, but he's like big. He's loyal. He'll fight to the death for Nick.
Okay,
like
so
I got him on the side.
I think I know the person for him.
Hit me.
Did you ever see why can't I think of it? Tucker and Dale versus Evil?
Yeah.
Tyler. The one that not Alan Tudyk, but the other guy that was the hillbilly.
Oh, I have to see what he looks like. But yeah, I do know. I thought that movie was hilarious. I didn't know what I was watching until when I started watching that movie, I was like, what is this? I was like, oh, this is awesome.
But he was in Reaper. Do you remember do you know his name, Phil?
No.
It's Tyler something.
It's not Tyler.
Tyler Labine. He always plays the idiot savant, and he always plays the goofy sidekick that's not serious and just says whatever he wants and comes to his mind.
So you're thinking
Tyler Labine.
Yeah.
All right, yeah. All right. Yeah, him but bigger. So like Casper's like Nick is big, but Casper would be kind of like the Mountain. The last iteration, right? Like he's like a big, massive,
right?
Like so, body type, he'd be more like the Mountain.
Yeah, Nick is a big guy, man. Just
yeah, Nick is big. So that's the thing, is just like Nick's big and Casper's even bigger. So, and I kind of like that, where in their relationship, like Nick's the small guy, but he's bigger than everybody else except Casper.
So you want the Hound and the Mountain.
Yeah,
I mean, that's basically it.
Yeah, I gotcha.
Yeah. So it's good because it's like it seems like physically the only person that could probably take out Nick is Casper, but Casper's like loyal to Nick.
Right.
Nice.
Yeah, I don't want to give a lot away just because I want people to go read the book, but I mean, yeah, just the characters are very smartly written. They're very fun. It's almost like the minute I realize that Jack is a complete coward, I'm just like, oh my god. But then he becomes endearing, like as the story continues, and I'm just like, okay, I can't hate this guy. Like he just seems like a total dick at the beginning when he's like, when the arguing starts to happen.
Yeah, yeah, and yeah, he's one of those guys that from the outsider, as if you don't know him from an outsider, he's one of those. We probably have those friends. They're like, oh, he's an asshole. But once you get to know him, it's like, he's an asshole I like. You know, he's a bit of a dick.
Yeah.
He's a dick I like.
Oh no, I might be the asshole.
No comment.
And
assholes.
And this has got and Nick, he's also like an asshole, but he's like again like a Billy Butcher asshole. He's like, you know, he'll fuck you up. But you get to know him, and you're like, okay, he's kind of a cool guy though. he's got a cool guy vampire vibe to him.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
He's kind of like if Sons of Anarchy were vampires, you know, not so much Bram Stoker's.
Right.
So
because I did not pick up on vampire at first. It was like, you know, I knew what I was in for, so I was assuming werewolves at first, and then when they first like almost like Super Saiyan style power up, but it's like
yeah, the werewolves, I'd say they make a full appearance as in a fully transformed appearance in book. Was it like book 6? But before that, they are no. It might be book 5. It's book 5. Book 5. So book 5 is when they'll make their first like wolf out appearance, but you'll see them before then, but not in their wolf form, not in their werewolf form.
See.
And
they're all wearing wool. It's weird.
they're all wearing lanolin,
wool knitted sweaters,
right?
But yeah, the when you see them, you'll like them. They're probably my favorite characters to write for.
Nice.
So yeah, and the next Kickstarter, the things really start picking up on the next Kickstarter. So they escalate. So it's like the if you look at these two are like introduction to characters in the situation. The next two are like, holy shit, what have we got ourselves into? And then the two after that are like worlds collide of like when they finally realize how deep they're in to what they're in, and then those worlds start colliding, coming together in the next two, and then resolve in the next two. So
yeah, I mean, anyone that knows me, I love all things horror. So this, you know, the zombies, the werewolves, vampires are all right up my alley. That's why I really loved the first book.
Yeah, excellent. I think you'll like the second one if you like the first one, and yeah, it gets you'll start seeing more and more of every type of character. I think the most zombies you'll see will probably like you'll see the first time you'll get to see a lot of zombies will be book 3.
Okay.
And there'll be some other types of characters that have not been introduced yet, other monster types, so stay tuned. So, and then and as it goes, you'll learn more and more about the bunnies.
Okay.
That's one of the things I was wondering about, because I noticed in the marketing material there's a bunny. I noticed the joke about the bunnies like in there, and I'm just like, now I want to know what the fuck the deal with the bunnies are, because like it's a passing joke in the first book, but then like it's one of those things where it's like, okay, that's a weird thing to bring up in the first book, but knowing that it's in the marketing material, it's like, okay, these bunnies play a role. I need to know what the hell this is.
Yeah, and that's the thing with the way the bunnies are introduced is kind of like everybody in this world knows what's up with the bunnies. Like everybody knows, they're very aware. It's not a secretive thing that's happening that the people in this world don't know about, but we don't know about it. So when they talk about it, they talk about like everyday things. They don't talk about it like they're explaining it to the reader for the first time. They're just like, I can't make any comments because I'll give things away. But like the way they talk about it is just like they're very aware of it. They're aware of it, just how they're aware of vampires and werewolves and every zombies in their world. So they're very aware of the bunny situation, and they make comments about it, but off to the side comments, kind of like you would discuss the rain. It's just like off to the side. It's just, yeah, there's bunnies. That's the most I could probably say without giving anything away. And then that story builds up. So there's this kind of undertone bunny story that's happening in the background, and it builds and it converges with Jack's story.
Oh my god, I need to know more. So need to know about the Yeah,
we have a bunny keychain that we make in-house. It's on the Kickstarter, and the deal with the bunny keychain is it's like it's $8. That's Canadian, so it's practically free for your American dollars. So you just send us Monopoly money to be worth more. The aftermarket. But
will do. I think I got a board around here somewhere.
Like here's a hundy. Keep it. But yeah, it's like the keychains we make ourselves, and they make you part of the official I called it the Blood Bunny Colony. And that's a name that just exists outside the book right now. Like it doesn't exist in the book. And it's because I wanted a name for the group and I wanted to attach it to the bunnies. And if you get this keychain, yeah, you do get a cool keychain that we make by hand here. That looks very close to the concept. It's like that concept is like 99% accurate of what you're actually going to get. And what was I going to say? Another thing you get if you get the keychain is you'll get a permanent discount or benefit. I don't know if the benefit is a discount. We're going to work that out per campaign. Whatever we can do, we will. But I didn't say it specifically here because I don't want to lock it down to something, because I want to be able to flexible with it. So basically it's like you're going to be part of it. You're going to be a member and you'll get a benefit for the next Kickstarter. Maybe it's a free print. Maybe it's a discount. Maybe it's a free upgrade to your backer level. Maybe it's stickers. Maybe it's something. Like I want to give something extra to the people who help back us and help support our book. So if you're a member, you're going to get extras every other Kickstarter. Not this one, obviously, because this one is so fun. So from now on, every So-Called Living Kickstarter, if you're a member, then you're going to get a bonus.
Nice.
And at very minimum, you're going to get a cool keychain because it's white and black acrylic, so it's pretty sturdy.
Nice.
I like it. Yeah.
Cool.
Well, I'm happy to hear you guys like the book, because I've done a few I've been on a few shows and a lot of people don't even read the book.
Oh no, we're very different, and we noticed that about other shows. We are very different about that. We make sure we read because it's just dumb to go in and say, "Oh, so you have a comic book? Tell me about your comic book."
Mm-hmm.
I'm very much like you guys. Before I get into anything, I research the thing. The only thing I don't research is when I do unboxings, but I'm trying to get that like Christmas Day feel. I don't want to know. I want to go in blind. Because it's an unbox. If I'm doing an unboxing for a board game, I was like, I don't want to know what's in here. I just want to open it up. I don't want to look about the gameplay. So a lot of people get upset. Like, this guy knows nothing. I was like, I know nothing about unboxings, but like when I do my other videos, I'm well versed.
See, I'm with you on that though. Like when it comes to an unboxing, the whole point is to be surprised at what's inside the box. So and to react in real time to what you're seeing. So I'm with you on like, you know, not doing research if you're doing an unboxing, but like for what we're doing, it's like we're gonna do an interview. Why would I not do research?
Yeah. So you guys have done well. You guys have done well, and I appreciate it.
We appreciate that, man. We appreciate that you appreciate us.
And a bonus that you like it. So
yes, no, we absolutely do, man. One of our favorite things to do around here is do interviews with indie creators, just because it's fun just seeing how creative people get when they're not tethered to, you know, when they're not tethered to a one of the major, you know, comic book companies or anything like that. You know, so it just makes it more fun.
It would, but you know, I gotta admit, it'd be fun to do just once do like a Spider-Man book or an X-Men book. It'd be fun to do, right? Just like a thing to say you did, right? That'd be cool to do. Not like I'd want to like stop doing my own stuff. I always want to do my own stuff because, like you said, that's the fun part of it. But it'd be cool to say that, hey, I wrote that Spider-Man book, right? Because I'm a huge I'm a Spider-Man fan. I gotta actually didn't realize. I got a Spider-Man. I got a life-sized stuffed Spider-Man sitting on a chair like 6 feet away from me.
Nice. We interview some people. I mean, like we do interview people who are like major comic book creators and stuff like that. And like, you know, Melissa Flores, we interviewed her a while back, and she had just finished a run of Spider-Gwen. You know, and she was currently working on Power Rangers, but then she was also doing her own work. So I mean, like, you know, and like I think her current comic run was on Image. So it's like, you know, she does her own like original content too, but then she's also working on like major IPs. It's pretty cool.
Which is a good way to go if you want to promote yourself as an indie comic, because if you can get your name known, that's that's more strength to back up your own personal stuff. Like I know I've heard people say like they don't want to work for Marvel, they rather work on their own stuff. It's like, yeah, if I had the option to work on my own stuff versus Marvel stuff, I'd like to work on my own stuff more. Like if that was my choice, it was black and white, like one or the other, I'd rather work on my own stuff. But I'm a huge fan. It'd be fun to just say I did it. And also, if somebody likes my Spider-Man stuff, then they'll back up my so-called living story, right? Because a lot of, like, you want to make a name for yourself as a writer, you just take every opportunity you get to get your name in front of people, right? Because as indie creators, nobody knows who we are. They don't know our characters. They don't know our stories. They don't know shit. They don't know me as a writer. Like I can pick up a book from Mark Miller and know I'm going to like it because I like his writing. You know, I like Robert Kirkman. I like Brian Bendis. There's lots of writers. Joe Hill. Like I like their stuff. So I'm going to buy it. I could buy it just based on their name. But putting Mark Maia on a comic book is not going to impress anybody yet because I haven't done shit, right? But the more I do, the better. And the more eyes I can get in front of, the better. So if I have an opportunity to get, I can tell you as an indie writer, if you get a chance to do it, you can hate on Marvel, hate on DC because they didn't hire you, because they didn't hire me. I've applied as a writer before and they never even looked at it, right? Because I don't know how to do, because they're not going to look at unsolicited work. So my problem wasn't that they read something of mine and were like, garbage. They wouldn't even read anything of mine because I had nothing for them to read. They're not going to read an unsolicited script. They're not going to even talk to you because you got to understand, they're getting flooded with people.
Right.
And they got tons of talent already. Like they can't be like Christmas, like Santa Claus employees and just giving jobs to everybody. You get a job. Like they're not the Oprah of job giving. You get a job and you get a job. Like it still costs money to put out comics. And part of that is hiring the people to do them. So, but again, if you get the opportunity to get your name in front of somebody, do it. That's why we do the podcasts and videos as well. It's get your name out there, because the more that people know you, the better chance you have of showcasing your art to other people.
Absolutely.
So it's not selling out, right? and really, what's wrong with selling out? Look at Snoop Dogg. He sold out, and it's working well for him.
Exactly.
Like, everybody's got to put money. Everybody's got to put money on the table. Like, you got to starve because of your pride.
Right. No, it's not selling out. It's selling yourself.
Yes, it is. It is selling yourself. Exactly.
Now he's making videos with fucking Martha Stewart. Get the fuck out of here.
Yep. I'll if I could get a 50-50 partnership, I'll give Martha Stewart 50% of So-Called Living if I can get her name on it, because think of how much you would sell.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It'd be great. And then people
I
be sell out. I was like, yeah, but now like it's the book is bringing in more money. I can make more books. This is fantastic. Win-win. Right? Because now each book is a struggle. So you depend on the support of people who like your story on Kickstarter.
Right.
Like, I don't see a problem here.
Nope.
No.
Nope. So.
Oh man,
Right.
we're gonna start moving into some wrap up questions here before we get into the bracket. So I've got the hardest question that you're ever gonna be asked in your
You're just bragging.
I am bragging.
I've got the hardest one.
It is the hardest one. I'm telling you right now. Everybody wants what I got. By everyone, I mean absolutely nobody. Okay, so again, hardest question you're ever going to be asked, ever. Okay. What is your favorite kind of taco?
I don't even know how to answer that. I like soft shell first. Let's start there. We're gonna go with chicken and spicy. So I like a little bit of. As far as what goes in it, the more the better. Whatever qualifies as a taco before it gets to a burrito. You know what I mean? I'll take it. You can put in, like, when you start putting rice and guac, does it become a burrito? Like, I don't know. What's the borderline for like my taco is now a burrito?
I guess it being wrapped.
That's it. All right, then.
That's what you need.
Then just load me up. If it's spicy, it's got chicken that's on a soft shell. I like it. The hard shells are just messy.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
No, that's fair. Yeah.
So just kind of like rapid fire here.
Go.
What's some advice that you might have for anyone trying to get into the industry?
What industry?
Into like the comic industry.
Oh, it's the comic book industry. I'm still trying to get into it myself. But first thing is you got to commit to yourself. It's got to get done. Is that somebody? That's my wife. Are you questioning my rice? Like,
she's questioning your
rice?
taco choice.
Yeah.
Like,
when did you even get here?
That's actually a good question. Is when did she pop in here? Just like 30. She literally popped in here a minute ago. You know what happened is she probably heard you in the next room. Was like, nope. I'm getting on the stream. Got to talk.
He clearly doesn't know what a taco is. You're talking burrito. You're talking Chipotle.
Chipotle, the bane of my people.
I don't know who puts rice in tacos. That's what I'm saying. It's like a burrito. I'll put everything in it. If it's on a plate and it's I'll just toss it in. I don't need to eat it separate. I just everything goes in it.
The question is, how do you want your meat, cheeses, and rice, and what form of shell?
Yeah, culturally, it just becomes a plate for us because we use tortillas the way that like Italians use bread, right? Like Italians slop the sauce. Right, like they slop up the sauce and just like get everything off the plate with a piece of bread. We do the same, but with tortillas, right? Like we if there's rice or any kind of thing on the plate, we're scooping it up with tortilla and finishing it off.
I'll eat it all. I don't care what format it's in.
It's fair.
Anyways, what was the rapid fire question? Sorry, Brittany threw me off. What was the question?
What's advice that you have for anyone
getting
who's running into the
So
comic?
advice. It's going to be a hard work, so you got to commit. You got to be willing to give up on the fun things you like. So like if you like I like watching movies all night. I like having, every Wednesday is game night, every Friday is movie night. You got to give up some of those. Not everything, but you do got to give up some of those because it's going to take up a lot of your time to do it. And if you're a writer, my advice, unless you have an artist friend that's going to partner up with you, if you don't have that, then don't look for partners. Take ownership of your own project, get it written on paper that it's yours, and then go to a studio that works with individual artists to work on your comic book. Don't just trust somebody online that you just met with your hard-earned money to make your project happen.
Yep.
That's good advice.
All right, good.
Yeah, no, that's actually really good advice.
Next.
So again, another hard question. Who would win in a fight? Casper or Nick? I guess we'll do two of them here. Casper versus Alucard, and then Nick in the same situation.
That's, you know what? I'm gonna have to give it to Nick because he's more ferocious. I think even though Casper is stronger, the stronger one in the situation, I think Casper wouldn't have it in him to like do the final hit on Nick because he's so loyal to him. So I think, but Nick, if he had to, I think he can go more ferocious than Casper can, even though Casper's stronger. Casper's too laid back.
Gotcha. So we're saying like
and Alucard would just get crushed.
Yeah. I don't care if you're the son of Dracula. Fuck you. You're about
He's done.
You're about to get your vampire shit wished in, buddy. Oh God. All right. So what's next for you, man? Any cons coming up? I know we just got through your Kickstarter back at the end of March. Or is that still going on right now?
Yeah, it's the Kickstarter ends on the 25th of this month. So.
Okay. So right there, anybody that's in the chat, if you guys want to get in on this, especially on the ground floor, get in on this and donate to the Kickstarter. 100%. It is a great book. If you guys haven't read it yet, you need to. I know Graveyard is already invested and wants to get into it deeper. So
I'm just figuring out how do I add the bunny keychain at this point in time to it.
Yeah, it's an add-on. Just to click it on there, you'll be set. Then you'll be set for all of the rest of the series. And another thing to note, and I didn't realize this until somebody, one of you Americans mentioned it to me, is the question was,
goddamn,
how did I keep my shipping so low? And then I didn't realize it because I looked at some of the other shipping costs, and there was one book I was looking to get from the States to Canada, and it was a $10 book, but the shipping was $23.
Yeah,
Lord.
And I was like, holy shit. So and that's so I was like, that was crazy. But yeah, I've seen some of the shipping costs and they're pretty big. I put our estimated shipping costs at the bottom, and they're estimated because if something crazy happens and things like skyrocket. So far, nothing's happened. Everything's on levels.
Right.
Everything should be fine. Another apocalypse event happens.
As
but like,
long as the ship doesn't crash into another bridge, we're
like for $12
we're
$12 Canadian, we're shipping anywhere in the States.
wow.
And so again, $12 Canadian is probably like $8 US, like realistically. So like $8 and change. So and that's anywhere in the US. So that doesn't actually even cover us for everywhere. Like there's certain places like down further south that cost more. So we're just eating the cost on that, but we're just saying $12 in the States in general, because we want to just try to get our book into people's hands. So like I'm confident in the story, so I want you to get it. And I'm trying to remove as many barriers as possible. So that's why you can read book one for free on Comixology. Not Comixology, Global Comics. You can read it for free on Global Comics.
I said Canada for the win.
Thank you. The only thing Canada's got going for it right now is so-called living, just so you know.
Oh man. So where can people find you, man? If they if people want to learn more about so-called living, or if they want to find out more about you, they want to hear more about the wonderful idea that came out of the mind of Brittany Maia. That is that is Board Game Coffee. I'm giving her credit so she can be happy with you later. Where can people find out more about you, man?
So our main platforms are YouTube, Instagram. We don't do much on Twitter or X. I think we have accounts there because Brittany set them up, but it's enough work to just handle the two. So we're Board Game Coffee or So-Called Living in all of those. So just look up So-Called Living or Board Game Coffee, and you'll find us.
Awesome.
So yeah,
awesome, man. Well, we
Nice.
thank you for coming on, man. You are more.
Thank you.
Continue hanging out with us, doing a little bit of our bracket here, which we are jumping into best dinosaur movies. So best movies that have dinosaurs in them. But yeah, no, Mark, thank you for coming on.
Yes,
and
thank you very much,
man.
Yeah.
no, thanks for having me on here. You guys are awesome.
Absolutely.
All right.
I gotta. The children are happy.
You just got those children in your basement?
We're not going to talk about that.
Those are the other one other host on this channel. He's like 50 kids, so they're all his. Pretty much.
Yeah.
Or of course, we have to we have to quote Canada's most revered treasure.
Maximum effort. I feel just like a little girl.
There we go. All right, let's get into this, guys.
All right.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
By the way, just so you guys see the progress that I've got so far, it's starting to look more like a console.
It's beautiful.
Again, you have
It is.
the this thing right here is basically the ejector for the game. What's cool on this, if you guys didn't catch this the first time around when we built this the first time, this little thing pops off on the side and it's a level for Mario.
Oh, that's awesome.
Cool.
Nice.
You kind of make me want to build a Lego.
This is I hear this a lot.
Yeah. For sure. Yeah, I like
Do
it.
the buttons go in?
The buttons?
The power buttons? Do they?
No, they're stuck on there.
That's what I figured. I'd be impressed if they went in.
Yeah. The fun thing, I mean, like, is like you actually have like AV buttons and stuff on here on the side and whatnot.
Well, the tray goes up and down, so like I wouldn't have even normally asked until you showed me the tray.
Yeah, what's cool is when you get the game. So I'm eventually I'll end up building the a cartridge for Mario, for the first Super Mario. The cartridge goes in, and then you put it down, and then it ejects it out too.
Nice.
That's
It's
cool.
pretty nice.
I like it. I think for the kit, I think they have it when you push it down, it turns it on.
Got it.
So like it's game. All right, so brackets.
Yes. Yes.
So we are doing best dinosaur movies. We got through about 3/4 of it over the past couple of weeks. So we're kicking it back up with King Kong, because there were dinosaurs in King Kong.
Yep.
Versus We're Back, a dinosaur story.
Oh, nice. All right.
So I should do this is your bracket you wanted. So
Oh no, I know. I know all of these. So at least I
She was excited right now.
So are we talking about the original King Kong or
any King Kong. They all
Like
had
the stop
dinosaurs.
motion where he fights the T-Rex or whatever that was he fought.
Yeah.
okay, just all the King Kongs versus We're Back.
Yeah. What do you think had best dinosaurs in the movie?
You know, I've never even seen We're Back, but I'm looking at it now on my screen, and I'm giving it to We're Back because those old King Kong movies were shit.
I read the book of We're Back, so
Keep in mind, Shadu is only 21. So We're Back was a movie that came out in like, what was it, 96, 95, 96?
93.
Yeah.
I am still somewhat familiar though.
God,
So,
that just makes me feel even older. I watched that movie in theaters, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I recognize the poster, but I've actually never seen this.
It's a Spielberg movie.
Mm-hmm.
Really?
So what say you?
This one.
man, I don't know. I mean, it really depends on the version of King Kong. I don't know. I don't feel like King Kong itself is focused on dinosaurs, right? So I would say it's focused on a giant ape, right? So I would say probably We're Back just on principle of it being more focused on the actual topic.
Mm.
Did you guys notice that the poster for We're Back, the T-Rex looks like a ball sack, like a penis with a giant ball sack?
Yes.
Hold on, wait.
I've never seen like I've just looked at this poster now, and I was like, he looks like a dick with a big ball sack.
The level of excitement that Shadu just had right now when you said that.
What? No. Hold on.
Oh, I gotta go look at this. Hold on.
No. Oh my god, he does.
Do you see it?
Yeah.
He looks like a penis.
So Phil, what do you think?
Why haven't I heard about this in like every like? I never really looked at this poster. Like I recognize it roughly, or the basics of it. But now that I'm actually looking at it, it looks like a ball sack.
How come I never saw this penis movie?
You got to give it to the ball sack.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm giving it to the ball sack. We're going for. I'm going We're Back just because I think ultimately it is a movie that is more focused on dinosaurs, even though it's about, like dinosaurs from the future that can talk and shit.
Yeah. You know where I'm going.
King Kong. I know you.
Oh, yeah, absolutely King Kong. Hands down King Kong.
I know you well enough to know that you're going to vote for King Kong. What's the chat looking like?
Everyone's saying We're Back. So We're Back has it.
We're back, folks. Oh.
Yeah, it's moving on. So next up is the Flintstones.
Mm-hmm.
Can't say there's not dinosaur centric.
Nope, there. Yeah, I suppose so.
Versus, I know Geeks On were just asking about this just for him. Ice Age, Dawn of the Dinosaurs.
Okay, so we said the Flintstones versus Ice Age, Dawn of the Dinosaurs.
Yes, which is about dinosaurs.
So is the question what's the better dinosaur movie?
Yeah.
I'd have to go with the same argument that Shadu made for the last one, where Ice Age seems more focused on the dinosaurs story, where Flintstones, the dinosaurs are accessories.
No, hold on.
I prefer I want to give it to the Flintstones because it has dinosaurs in it. But as far as I'd give it to Ice Age.
So here's my argument.
You don't have to make an argument. You just got to vote.
I'm going Flintstones, but here's why. Because
Yabba dabba don't.
Because Ice Age has one movie about dinosaurs. The Flintstones has a whole series.
There's a lot of Ice Age movies.
There are, but there's only one that is specifically focused on dinosaurs.
Aren't they all focused on dinosaurs?
No.
They're focused on more than mammals. Yeah, like they're more.
Yeah, it's the Ice Age. So it's,
yes, because dinosaurs are notoriously known for being alive 10,000 years ago.
Keep in mind, Shadu's whole shtick is he is very scientific with everything. So
it depends on the thing, but yeah.
Scientific accuracy matters.
Which is weird that I'm going with Flintstones in that case.
Are you saying they didn't use the stork or the pterodactyl as a toilet in real life?
Well, I wouldn't be surprised, but no. No. Yeah. Apparently, I said two were dinosaurs. Anyway, point is, we're throwing out accuracy completely here with both of these. So, so I would rather go Flintstones just because I feel like there's more dinosaur there, even if they are more accessories. You know.
Yes, geeks. I know the pterodactyl was a plane. It was a joke from another thing where it was a Family Guy joke.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
There we go. I got it. Yeah.
It actually talked about that in the Flintstones. Never happened. Robot Chicken and Family Guy, absolutely.
It's 11.
Right. I'm going Flintstones just because they actually have more variety of dinosaurs in it. And Ice Age was really just T-Rex for the most part.
Well, it was T-Rex and then the weird, like, I don't know what it was. They made up a dinosaur, I think. It's like the white one.
Yes. Jurassic Park style dinosaurs.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what about you, Phil?
Yeah, give it to the Flintstones. You know, they are the modern Stone Age family, even though it takes place millions of years in the future.
Yes.
Right. Of course. So are we're back and the Flintstones in the same universe then? Is that what we're learning now?
They're in the same universe as the Jetsons.
They are.
I'm saying that because we're back as dinosaurs time traveling back in time, right?
Oh,
so
yeah.
It's the dinosaur society from the Flintstones.
You see, what happened was they pulled a teaser and a nuclear bomb exploded when Charlton Heston didn't want to make another movie. So they escaped on the plane to go back.
Damn you! Damn you, damn dirty apes!
But Flintstones does move on. All right. Now, all the ones we've been waiting for here.
Right.
Beast of Hollow Mountain. So we're talking close, classic 50s, 60s sci-fi.
I know this one, yep.
Versus Velocipaster.
And I know this one, yep. Oh, man.
So good, make you want to slap your mama.
I mean, I think you guys know what I'm voting for.
Well, I mean, yeah.
Velocipaster 100.
Absolutely Velocipaster, yes.
So, okay. So let's see. So Beast of Hollow Mountain is really kind of was one of the films that kickstarted the whole genre, and it's very, very historic and all of that, and but also Velocipaster.
Isn't Velocipaster kicking off its own genre?
It is.
Whether we like it or not. So
did it start the genre of schlock?
No, this is a new one. This is the news entry in schlock.
No, I know. I'm kidding.
It's a Roger Corman started the schlock in the.
Oh yeah.
Wasn't there a movie called Schlock back in the day?
Yeah.
But that was
so yes, Velocipaster.
What about you, Mark?
I'm also going for Velocipaster only because I've never even heard of the other movie, and I've at least seen the poster for Velocipaster. So I've never seen any of those movies, but I've never heard of the other one.
It's such a ridiculous premise.
Yes.
So good.
Essentially What If Trauma, but dinosaurs. What about you, Phil?
Oh, Velocipaster, 100%.
Wow, Velocipaster made it to second round.
Did you expect anything less?
The question is, did anybody not vote for Velocipaster?
No.
No.
It was a sweep.
Everybody.
Even Say Wong voted for Velocipaster? He did!
Yeah.
Oh my god!
Yeah.
No, he did say Velocipaster, so technically that's,
It's a philosophical pastor that turned into a
Right.
Velociraptor. All right, so the last one of round one. Like I said, this is all randomly generated.
I got
Jurassic Park
Oh.
versus Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom.
So the first Jurassic Park movie versus the second Jurassic World movie. Technically the fifth Jurassic Park movie.
Yes.
I wonder which movie I
Huh.
vote for.
Huh. I wonder what this will be.
It's essentially raise your hand if you think Fallen Kingdom should move on.
Who here thinks Fallen Kingdom was better than Jurassic Park?
Look, Fallen Kingdom wasn't bad.
But is it better than Jurassic Park?
No, of course not. Not bad doesn't mean good. Doesn't mean legendary.
Yeah,
Mark, are
definitely
you going to
Jurassic
vote?
Park
You
for
going
me.
for Fallen Kingdom?
Jurassic Park was my childhood, so
Jurassic
It's
Park was literally my childhood because I watched that movie in theaters.
I also
Well,
watched
it-
it in
yeah,
theaters.
it's what got me into all of this stuff. So
To say Juan's debating about it, I can see the gears turning in his head.
Say Wong, if you say
Fallen Kingdom.
Kingdom, I will never trust anything you say again.
So hold on, quick question. Do we have all the Jurassic Park movies on here?
We did.
Okay, cool. Okay,
Some of them have already been voted off.
I see.
That they have. I don't think Dominion moved on. I can just throw that out there.
That's good. I haven't even seen Dominion. I was like,
It's about
I'm
giant locusts, not.
I was gonna say, so the main villain
Giant
locusts.
Yeah. All right, everyone's saying Jurassic Park.
If you have to
All
say
right.
it wasn't that bad, it was bad. Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
That's
All right, so rounding you back up, we are at Walking with Dinosaurs
right.
versus Meet the Robinsons.
Well, I mean, Walking with Dinosaurs, obviously, because that was a a revolution in documentary filmmaking about dinosaurs and prehistoric life in general.
Yes. Name me one quote from it. Go.
Something David Attenborough, something.
Right.
But name me a quote, the most popular quote from Meet the Robinsons, and it's the dinosaur one.
It is.
Yeah, but still,
In little arms, and I don't think that this is really well thought out.
but iconic quotes do not a good movie make.
It is a good movie, though.
I'm not saying it's a bad movie. I'm just saying.
I'm going with Walking with Dinosaurs.
Walking with
I
Dinosaurs.
forgot there was a dinosaur in Meet the Robinsons. I saw it not too long ago.
The Tyrannosaurus with the derby is the best character in that entire.
Yeah, I
Out
see
there.
it now. I googled it and I see it. I was like, now I remember the dinosaur.
Yeah. I have to go with Walking Dinosaur just because Meet the Robinsons beat out Carnosaur.
Oh, come on.
Yeah.
Come on.
So Phil, what do you think?
I mean, David Attenborough, man, come on.
Yeah.
I don't know. David Attenborough has let me down in your game streams recently.
David Attenborough is my favorite dinosaur.
Nice.
AI David Attenborough, man. So I do game streams, and we have a AI system that you can type in whatever you want, and it'll like speak. You can make me say what you want because I was dumb enough to record my voice into the AI. And we have things like Ask David Attenborough, so you can ask him a question, and it will answer you as David Attenborough. Yeah, he disappointed us the other day because we asked him something and he was like, I can't answer that, but hey, let's talk about Phil playing Shadow of War instead of that. And of that, we're just gonna talk about orcs in Uruk-hai and Mordor, and we're not gonna talk about the question you just asked.
Yeah, I asked him what is the main ritual of the Uruk-hai, and he says I'm not answering that.
Yeah.
I'm like, Dave Attenborough, you're supposed to know all the main rituals of everything. All right, so Walking with Dinosaurs moves on. Next up is The Land That Time Forgot.
Ooh, classic.
Ooh.
Yes, versus Night at the Museum series.
So a T-Rex is a pet.
Without skin, yes.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
What was the second one? What was it called?
Night at the Museum.
Oh, Night at the Museum. I didn't
Yeah.
miss. I missed what you said.
Yeah.
Oh, all right.
What do you think, Mark?
I forgot.
You know, Land That Time Forgot. I'm looking at the movie poster because I've never actually seen it, but I'm a big fan of Night at the Museum, so I'm giving it to Night at the Museum.
Perfectly fair. Should
Yeah.
do.
So
Land That Time Forgot is a classic. Was that
it
1958?
is.
I'm sorry, not Night at the Museum. The Land That Time Forgot.
Was
Was 1958, I think.
1974. This one
Oh, I'm thinking of the wrong
Yeah.
movie.
that I'm seeing. Yeah.
That's still a stop motion dinosaur movie, though, right?
Oh yeah.
Yes.
The poster for the Land That Time Forgot has got a T-Rex underwater chasing a submarine.
Look at the older one. That's the newer one, I think.
That's
Yeah.
the newer one. It's because it looks pretty old.
Is it?
Yeah, it's a T-Rex attacking a submarine underwater. I don't know if the scale on that is correct. It's more like
Probably not. But.
seems like more of a Godzilla like.
Oh yeah,
Right.
he's definitely underwater attacking a submarine. Yes. It's from the
I'm-
author of Tarzan, though. Come on.
Oh, I'm gonna go.
Edgar Rice Burroughs.
Yes, I'm going to go Land That Time Forgot, because those dinosaurs are living.
There you go.
Because we all here trust the way that British people write. So
Yes, yes, we do indeed.
So Phil, are you going with Land as well? The Time Forgot. Or are you going with Night Museum?
no, I'm going Night at the Museum. No, you know what?
Wow.
No. We're going based on what's the better dinosaur movie.
Yeah.
Land That Time Forgot.
Yeah.
All right. So that moves on. Next up, we have Land of the Lost
Ooh.
versus Planet of Dinosaurs, where they go to a different planet and there's dinosaurs.
Those dinosaurs.
Yes.
Okay, so So Land okay, so it's Land Before Time, right?
Land of the Lost.
Land of the Lost. Okay, yeah.
And if
So-
you're old like us, you can think of Land of the Lost, the Nickelodeon show that existed, but at the same time as Hey Dude and Salute Your Shorts.
which is precisely what I'm thinking of, because that's the only version I've seen.
But it was based off of that movie.
Right. With like the horrifying alien things, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I gotcha.
Are we talking about Sid and Marty Krofft right now?
I don't know.
No, they did the TV show.
Oh,
they?
all right. So yeah, I'm going Land of the Lost then.
Yeah, as am I. What about you, Mark?
What were the
The
monsters?
original or the Will Ferrell one?
The original.
It would have had me if it was the Will Ferrell one.
Oh,
But because I haven't seen the original, but since I've seen the Will Ferrell one, I'm going for Land of the Lost. I'm sure it's there in spirit.
I just remember what the aliens are called. They're called Slee Stacks.
Sleestacks, yeah.
nice.
Yeah, they're creepy.
hmm I mean, the TV show had a dinosaur called Scar because it had a scar.
Right.
What was the other one, Sewong? Planet of Dinosaurs, where they go in a spaceship and they go to a planet that has dinosaurs. Hence,
Planet of
dinosaurs. So, Phil, you said, what are you going with? Land of the Lost?
Land of the Lost.
Okay. All right. Land of the Lost moves on. We got time for one more to finish up that top half of the bracket.
All right.
We have Disney's dinosaur
Okay. All right.
versus Jurassic World.
Disney's dinosaur. Okay, that's the old one, right?
Yeah, 2001, I believe,
Okay.
Yeah.
where they're escaping the asteroid that hit the Earth.
Right.
versus the executive businesswoman running in heels against after a T-Rex.
Right. Yeah, they're both kind of just okay.
I actually didn't like Dinosaur, Disney's Dinosaur. I thought it was boring, but
Dinosaur kind of
might-
creeped me out, actually.
I think it'd be a better dinosaur movie for breaking it down to that, but it's not better as an enjoyable. I enjoy what was the title? The Jurassic one? The
Jurassic World.
Just the first Jurassic World.
yeah, Jurassic World. So I enjoy Jurassic World more for its just silly actioniness of it.
Yeah.
But Dinosaur bored me. So
I don't know if I want Jurassic World to go on just on principle. Again, I have not hated the Jurassic World movies, but I don't know why you made more besides money.
That's your answer. It's money.
Well, yeah. So I am going to go Disney's Dinosaur, even though it kind of creeped me out when I first watched it.
It's like, do I vote for Jurassic World just because Bryce Dallas Howard is hot?
Yes.
I mean, that's a completely
Yes.
different issue.
because somehow Opie Opie birthed a beautiful woman.
Yeah.
I don't think he birthed her.
Oh no. Yeah, they came out of his asshole. No.
So what do you think, Phil?
Between Jurassic World and Dinosaur, because I mean, Dinosaur falls on the same issue as like, it's one of those movies where if you go back and watch it right now, the movie itself does not hold up.
No.
They're really bad. Yeah, I mean, it's not very interesting. It doesn't keep your attention very well. Jurassic World, at least, is interesting in a fanciful way.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to go as far as to say, oh, it was good, because it was not. You know,
I mean, it's the best Jurassic World movie we got.
Well, I was going to say, I mean, it did give us Owen Grady, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Owen Grady is an interesting enough character.
Right.
You know, so like, I'm not 100% against Owen Grady. You know, yeah, you have this whole, you know, weird concept of, yeah, I can train a velociraptor.
Right.
You know, because that's a thing apparently.
Right, which was an
People-
interesting idea. Just
Well, people
you know.
train tigers and lions. What's the difference?
And velociraptors are supposed to be ridiculously intelligent, so what's to say you couldn't train one, right?
I mean, in that universe, they're ridiculously intelligent. Yeah.
Yes.
So I don't know. I think I'm going Jurassic World on this just because I just can't get behind Dinosaur. It was too boring of a movie.
Yeah. I mean, I like Jurassic World for the reasons I said previously, just because they acknowledged, you know, they worked with what medium they had with, and why the dinosaurs continued to look the way they did is because that's what they expected dinosaurs to look like, because that's always the idea. You know, is it accurate to what we know now of what dinosaurs look like? No. But they acknowledge that. You know, they acknowledge that there is the DNA testing and the manipulation of it to do it. So I think it is the most reasonable movie, Jurassic Park, Jurassic World, for all these dinosaurs that did not exist at the same time on Earth to exist at the same time on Earth. Because it's not just Jurassic period. It's Cretaceous and all that stuff. So,
which they actually do acknowledge in the Jurassic Park movie is that, you know, well, no, it's the late Cretaceous, and it's like, oh, well, yeah.
But he took the heavy hitters from every period that most people thought of when they think of dinosaurs.
Right.
So well, like, again, you know, it is also why they explain why a lot of them didn't get along and just kind of certain things didn't work out the way that they were supposed to, is because they came from different.
Right. You know, there was millions, tens of millions of years between them, so they never would have interacted.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
So, all right. Well, that is half of the bracket.
All right. Nice.
All right, well, that's where we're at. I am in the middle of building the top of it right here, but for the most part, it's
Ooh,
we've got the majority of a console here.
nice.
Sweet.
You know, so
Did you guys do Land Before Time in this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It got booted.
Let me check. I don't think you got booted. It might have.
it's a big bracket. We may not have gotten to it yet. Which
it-
one? There's about 573 of them.
Yep.
It
I-
was beat out by Walking with Dinosaurs.
Oh yeah, yeah. I was here for that, right?
Yeah.
I only brought it up because like when I was looking for dinosaur screenshots to kind of remind me of like the movie, part of me was like, did I do a video game for this? And I did a search for dinosaur video game. I was like, no, I didn't do a video game. I was like, I don't think I did, but I might have. And then I found The Land Before Time, and I did do art for the Land Before Time video game.
Yes,
Nice.
that's what I was gonna say. You did do something for Land Before Time. I remember. I think I mentioned that at the top of the show.
Oh, did you? There you go. That's probably why it was fresh in my brain. Because like, there's games I like completely forget I've done.
Hmm.
Like I've come across them sometimes as just looking through old stuff and like, oh yeah, right. I worked on hockey for Game Boy Color.
Hockey.
Like, I just so many titles I just forget. Brings back memories.
Well, hopefully they're good ones.
Yes.
All right. Well, let's put this all back in here, and we'll close out the show.
All right. Awesome.
I think I might have mixed up some pieces at some point here, but I'll figure it out later.
Oh no.
Yeah, more than likely, it's actually probably they're all in here. That's why. Okay. Yeah, I see them. I see them both in here. All right, we'll fix that later. Fix it in post.
Sweet. Cut it. No.
Was it? Fuck it. We'll do it live.
Exactly. I like that Eugene says we were thinking too hard about Jurassic World just because Bryce Dallas Howard's in it.
He's like, that's all you need to know. Bryce Dallas Howard was in it. She's hot. That's where we're going.
These are dinosaur movies. We're judging them on the basis of the dinosaurs.
How hot the dinosaurs were, yes.
That is the only thing that we should ever worry about is how hot the dinosaurs are. All right, well, ladies and gentlemen, we are getting ready to get out of here. Before we go, I've got a couple of people here. We got to get the pluggables out there. So, Shadu, tell everybody where they can find you outside of the distance nerding sphere, sir.
All right. I am SHGU Studios here on YouTube and on Instagram. I do short films, music, world building, and other nerdy stuff. I am also on Frey's channel, who is not currently here, but you know her. We have a little series called Classified, where we take your favorite pop culture characters and place them into their respective D&D classes. We also have a companion series called Journals of the Classes, where we go through each of the D&D classes and their subclasses. We will have a new episode of Journals of the Classes at some point soon, and it will be on Sorcerer. I am also in the Distance Learning Sphere, as you can see. I am on the Download on Tuesdays, the Build on Thursdays, which is the very show you are watching right now. I am also on Kyber Cave Productions for the Saturday Morning Nerd Out, which is coming back on this Saturday. And now for the New Order, which was mentioned earlier as well.
Awesome. Going over here, Grave.
That's me.
Tell everybody where they can find you.
Yes, I am Graveyard, co-host of the Mostly Pod Out at Night, Mostly Podcast.
They mostly
Pod.
at night. Mostly.
You can get new episodes every Wednesday at Comic Con Radio, a week later, everywhere on Spotify. Make sure to check us out. Follow us on all social media at Pod Out at Night. We have a new show that we've been doing. It's about half a year now, called Conversations in the Void, where we talk to everyone and anyone in horror and just nerd out on horror with them. It's a great show. I love doing it. You can come there, harass Salem all you want. He'll just be in chat and lurking. You can find me at Kyber Cave Productions. I am back now officially after a 2-month hiatus as I was getting my life back together, molding the world of horror that I am now living in. So make sure to follow us that out. Retro Alcove's back. New Order is out. Saturday Morning Nerd Out is coming back too. So check that out. And follow also production company that helped start called Horror-Raven. We are working on new movies, skits, shorts, trailers, and everything else like that. And follow me on, like I said, on Instagram, because I have 2 movies I'm working on next month, where I'm going to be officially cast in the movie and assistant director on another movie, which was a sequel to the movie that I worked on last year. So make sure to check that out. And you can see me here on Distance Learning on The Build every Thursday with brackets, harassing Phil, gaming on Mondays, and try to make David Attenborough say naughty things.
All right, Mark, and then pluggables. Anything you want to plug right now, man?
Yeah, check out Board Game Coffee on YouTube and So-Called Living on Kickstarter. And if you back right now, you can be backer 100.
Ooh.
Oh, was I number 99?
Do it now! I don't know. I just saw that. I didn't go behind the scenes to see who was 99. But yeah, if you back last, then yeah, you were 99.
Oh, so close.
So you get what? 99 is Gretzky's numbers. That's pretty good.
There you go. And then, of course, ladies and gentlemen, you know who I am, your boy, Young Phil, host of the Distance Learning podcast. Of course, you can connect with us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, TikTok, Threads, YouTube, Discord, MySpace, Vine, GeoCities, Friendster, Second Life, AIM, Farmers Only, Christian Mingle, OnlyFans. It's only pictures of Aaron Watson's feet and mandals, the beard, and James's glasses also seductively sitting on a table. You know, that's what everybody wants to see nowadays. That's the kind of content everybody wants.
Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe.
Of course, ladies and gentlemen, you can email us, or if you'd like us to break up with your boyfriend, girlfriend, significant other, pet, schoolyard bully, annoying neighbor, or just tell us how much you enjoy us, hate us, or wish the internet would consume us and spit us out at the feet of the original Godzilla and Godzuki and King Kong. Send us an email at your favorite place, my favorite place, all of our favorite place. Dist.
Yeah. You know.
Nerding at AOL.com, and we will read it out on air. So that is it from us this week, guys. We will see everybody on the next one. It is now time for the dance party. Let us get this going.
And Jeff, the OnlyFans is only $1.99 a month.
It belongs in a museum.
This is the 4th Doctor, Phil.
He belongs in the museum.
He belongs in the museum. You know. Oh, wait, hold on. Yeah.
Yarr! Canada's greatest export. It's the Walking Man.
I will shoot your fucking cat.
Everybody next week.
Bye.